Hello and welcome to today's Saving Life.
I wasn't ready.
You weren't ready?
No, okay, it's good.
I was and you're right, we're a minute early, but Mike already counted us down and counted us in, so welcome. Today we actually don't have a big topic headline thing prepared. We have a couple of ideas we want to talk about, but if you have burning questions you haven't been asking in advance, just let us know. We are here to answer them. In the meantime, while the questions are coming in, I want to let everybody know today, theoretically, and tomorrow are the last days when it's not theoretically, it's practically as well. Today and tomorrow, so I will be going through all the Portmaster Premium Pro subscriber. Now we have it. Portmaster Pro subscribers yearly, and I will send out another wave of emails probably either tomorrow afternoon or Monday. Again, like this is our Black Friday promo. We are not gonna do anything else next week. So there won't be any discounts or anything, but everybody who is a subscriber with a yearly plan, they get 2 gift codes each for 2 weeks. They can use, of course, one for themselves or both, but like the intention, of course, is to help one of probably the people who will shop for you during this time stay more private during that period. We already sent all of the ones out which are currently yearly subscribers. I saw a couple payments coming in, so those I have not done yet. So if you're watching and just subscribe to Pro, you will be getting yours tomorrow or Monday. I'm not 100% sure.
And if you've been subscribed for a while to Pro Yearly and haven't got an email yet, please contact us. If you think we got it right, but in any case, just contact us if there's any issue. If you think you didn't get it, then we can look into that.
Absolutely. And also, of course, you would have to have a proper email address in there. We don't require email addresses. We absolutely respect if you don't want to share yours. But like, we need some way to
it's the only way kind of to contact you verified.
Exactly. So, it's sort of like, and we are not like sending any other stuff that way either, so it's not a newsletter you're subscribing to. It's just that one email, and we hope that with the blog post and everything announced a month early, that you would have known that this email is coming. If not, hopefully it's a pleasant surprise to you. I already mentioned Mike, so thank you, Mike, for being here and counting us in, and hello, Innovator Dev. Glad to see you back here again. You're right, I haven't seen you on the live chat, in the live stream for quite some time either, but you're very active on Discord, so thank you for being such a great part of the community there as well. And Hunter is back again, so welcome, Hunter, as well. Cool. Having that out of the way, do we quickly want to touch on a couple of other things that have been happening over the last weeks or so?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Or was that a kind of a cue for something?
That was a cue for something.
Okay.
No,
I forgot what for.
Just lower than recommended. Mike said, sorry, I just got a notification that something is maybe...
I think it's old. It has been here for some while.
Okay. And it's good now. Okay, great. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that the live stream works. Sorry, guys. No, I wanted to talk about our efforts in regards to the export and import. This is still in beta, so it has not been released. Typically, we have a major release between live shows, so we have something new to talk about in the current beta.
We had a lot of releases since like summer and but kind of the import export and we're working on the sync thing. That's a bit more complicated, but we're kind of finishing up profile import exports right now. So in beta, you can already import and export settings. So you can just the settings from an app, you can export them and then import them into the same app or a different app where you want to. And the next step is to export and import full profiles, which will also include the fingerprints. So that will be great, especially for sharing special fingerprints for profiles that can even then match multiple processes. So if there's something that has multiple binaries, such as Steam, for example, or like it's common with games usually that have launcher and then a game thing and then other components that live as separate processes, you can kind of share your configuration on like a profile that matches all of them together and then configure the right settings for that game, for example, or like other things like someone shares a profile for their Bitcoin or Monero or whatever wallet, which also often comes as multiple components. So
that's what we talked about last time.
So you have kind of the thing that does all the work and the UI as a separate thing. So that's pretty common.
Yeah.
And so now then you can export a profile with combined of these two with the settings and everything. So that's pretty cool. So now we'll go into beta next week. So we can start testing that in beta. And as soon as we feel comfortable with that working well enough, that'll go into stable the week after. So that'll be Portmaster 1.6.
There will be a blog post for that as well.
Yeah.
So for people on a Discord or
yeah. So we'll announce it definitely on Discord.
Yeah.
As
a big release again.
As a big release.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
syncing is not part of that as well.
Well, yeah. Syncing is again a bit more complicated. We're working on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know when it will be in beta, but hopefully soon. So I've already started working on it. But we decided to not wait with the profile import export because that kind of is in a very similar field. So kind of I started working on both simultaneously to kind of make sure everything fits well together. But we're moving forward with the profile import export now, and then syncing will come soon after.
Yeah.
We had to kind of look at a couple of things also regarding icons, because while Windows, like the UI on Windows, gets the icons via Electron, that doesn't work for Linux. Also, the icons in Electron just don't touch the rest of the system, so these won't be able to be exported. But if you manually set an icon, they're going to be exported and imported, and something you also have to handle in the sync. So kind of we're syncing profiles, settings, icons, and so on. So it's kind of takes some time to get all of together and
I'd love if we can export the icon like with it. That's just so you know, we haven't talked about this in advance, but like
with the profile. Yeah.
It would also be cool, especially for, and we talked about this last time as well, for the GitHub project we already created. It's Portmaster minus community. And we already have an apps repository in there.
Yeah.
And this is a separate entity. It's separated from Safing. We are in control of it at the moment, but we already got people who have been reaching out. Mike is, for instance, already on there as well, who we already edit, and we eventually want to sort of like give that over to the community. But we wanted to steer it and set a framework, how we envision it. Yeah. And of course, if you have ideas, you can change it. But yes, so this will be a public repository for anybody, and Innovative Dev is absolutely correct. If somebody then asks, well, this app isn't working, and then you can just export something, or just look in the public repository, send them the link, they download it and import it, and it works. Yeah. And you can be sure of that. We already thought about such use cases in regards to finding stuff in the network monitor. The network monitor, for instance, already natively has something where you can export your current search queries and you can then put them in right away. So, but we thought that this would be useful for support and helping people. Have never used it.
That's true. Probably because we didn't think about it ourselves.
I thought about it a couple of times, but typically people are just like have different issues. Often you cannot
you can't reproduce it anyway.
You can't reproduce it, and if I would want them to understand what is happening anyway, I want them to understand that how they have to click on allowed and then know to filter for blocked connections. So the screenshot, that simple screenshot, is I think more helpful than telling them to put this into the search bar.
That's probably
because then it's reproducible for them, and they don't have to go back into the email again. But it's 2 clicks in the UI. Also, of course, there's a Wiki page for that. But so sending that Wiki link is also more helpful, faster, and hopefully teaches people more than just copying something in. But I agree, Innovative Dev, for fixing stuff, this is an easy way to start. And I guess profiles are a little bit more complicated, especially what you're saying, like with the keys as well, like with, the identifiers, the fingerprints. Teaching people how to do that with regex, and I think either you, Innovative, or like Esco or so.
Regex is complicated.
Other people's have, and I'm so thankful for those, have helped others to get those fingerprints correct and right. But it is difficult, and we understand, and I feel like this will help a lot. Okay, we got a couple of messages. Mike said, I can't wait to see what the GitHub brings to the safing community. I so agree. This can be big, and we have plans for maybe doing like the sync is already going into that direction, but maybe something where you can actively import it from the GitHub directly.
So it would automatically, in a private way, search the database, and download the kind of community profiles automatically and apply them as, not replace your existing profile, but add them as a layer below, kind of to use them as the default if you haven't changed anything. And then we can also kind of update the community profile underneath without changing your settings. So that's something we are thinking about, how kind of then this collective work of the community can supercharge the privacy of all ProMass users. So that's something we're thinking about and looking into, and also kind of in designing all the interfaces, trying to not create blockers there. Doesn't mean we're going to work on this soon, step by step.
Exactly.
So next thing is just syncing yourself with your own devices.
Exactly.
That's the next step.
Which beautifully ties into what Hunter was saying in regards to, this is the reason why we're doing the syncing. Mass import and export is not something that we have supported yet, so you would have to do this separately for the important apps and the apps you have changed. There's something in my mind at the moment, not sure if I should share it, but we are thinking about how to do that and how to optimize it. But the syncing does that, exports all the profiles and then imports all the profiles. That's automatically. It's not a mass export and import. It does that one by one and checks one by one. And there are reasons in regards to maybe like trickery as well, where we want to be careful if we share those. There are checksums in there, and that's partly the reason why everything is done one by one, that every profile in itself is checked, and that when you download something and import it, you can be sure that it's not adding a separate profile or changing something that you don't foresee because some code is back or hidden within or something like that. So our priority is to have it safe and secure. Oh, Mano J just deleted something. Okay. But that was a nice message. I'm sorry that you left it, but Mano J, thank you. He said he has been a user for over a year, and that he feels Portmaster is a hero. And
thanks for that.
Thank you for that. Sorry that you redacted it. I hope my call out now was not bad. Thank you for using it. And Hunter said, forget to use Discord chat. No, it's fine. We're on both. I have both open in front of me, and we're looking at both of them. But in case, like, the one is nearer to me, the other one is nearer to Daniel, so he probably reads YouTube stuff earlier.
Yeah, regarding kind of the profile, especially the profile import, also the settings, we always think about, okay, how is this going to be used? How will this look like? And kind of what angles of kind of abuse is there in that? How easy is it for someone to trick someone else to use something? So that's why it's really important for us to make it easy to check for errors. So that's why we have checksums in there. So you can't do anything by accident. So of course, if you remove the checksum, it will still accept it. So you can edit stuff around if you want to. But also that's why we're using YAML, even though it's technically has some weird things with it. But it's a format that is so easy to read for humans because it just kind of can really fast skim the configuration and the fingerprint, be like, okay, this is happening, this looks good, because
I understand what I'm doing before.
Exactly. Helping you understand what is actually happening, helping to reduce anything of kind of attack vectors or fraud, because like if it's just a binary file you download somewhere and then just import, you have no clue what you actually just imported. That's really bad. So that's where also text-based, to copy paste it yourself into there. So there's kind of, we want to reduce any possibility of something being hidden from you, something kind of slipping by, stuff like that. So
as much as possible.
While kind of still making it usable and friendly to use and easy. So that's kind of the thoughts that kind of go along with designing that system, where you share things with others and you kind of input, to some extent, untrusted data into the application. So you have to really be careful with that and kind of make sure that this actually turns out well.
No, and we agree, and we hope you like it a lot. Something I learned while preparing the Git repository for this is that we already supported comments in rules, which is something like with a hashtag you can write a comment afterwards, which has not been useful, of course. Like if maybe you want to remind yourself of something and maybe you want to edit, but I never used it for myself. But now I'm adding like comments to some of that stuff, then export it. So the comments are included also in the hash sum. And so if you import it, it will tell you change this DNS to your trusted one, or change the DNS in here to your specific, next DNS or whatever. Stuff
so
like that.
For example, you can kind of import, I think the example was kind of a profile or a setting for settings for your email program. And then you'll have kind of one example entry in the rules that says change this to your email provider.
smtp.mailbox.org, for instance, to smtp. Who knows? Tuta.net. Is tuta.net now? They changed from tutanota to tuta.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they ditched the
nota.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. They're only tuta now.
Okay, that's simpler.
It is. Probably because it's a short name, it costs a lot. And so they probably saved up for that.
That could be.
Tuta is a 4-letter domain.
That's true.
And they even said something on Mastodon. They tutat something. Yeah, okay. Where they said, like, I think they're the only 4-letter, or like one of the few 4-letter email providers, and the only privacy respecting 4-letter, whatever. Yeah, okay. Almost funny. Not that that's bad.
Is it tuta.de or com or like?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it. I should have maybe looked at it earlier. But like as I said, and I don't even know if Tuta supports SMTP, but Mailbox does, and so do others. And of course, if you use Proton, you would have to have that bridge installed as well. But it is like having those comments in there, for one, makes it more readable and more understandable. And also when you import, it gives you clear instructions what to do. But on the other hand, it can make the file longer again and make it more complicated. And so it's both. It's always those trade-offs, trying to get something as easy as possible, but secure,
and
exactly, and understandable, and as human readable and understandable as possible. Yeah. Hunter said close to funny, actually. Well.
So another thing regarding the imports and export and the format we wanted to touch on is that just kind of, we're not the one who kind of stirs something up here that has been sleeping, but maybe just as a kind of to reduce confusion. If you export settings now, and we have a lot of settings which are just kind of on and off switch. And if you export these, you'll see a number, not kind of a true false value.
Will it be true false or 0 1?
It will be true false.
Oh, better human readable. Very good.
Yeah.
Love it.
Definitely. So.
But we're changing away from a number.
Yeah. The thing is, the numbers exist there because previously these on and off settings were able to react to something what we called network rating. And we had this concept until Portmaster version 0.8, so some time ago.
Over a year.
So since then it's been deprecated. So we opted not just immediately remove it, but just kind of to deprecate it and be like, okay, we'll remove it when we either have a replacement or it's actually a pain. And now we've reached a pain point. Yeah. So we're moving that because these numbers are just confusing in the export.
Yeah. How would you know that 7, I think, is the no?
No, 7 is yes.
7 is yes. And 6 or 1 is no.
Everything else is no.
Okay. 7 is yes.
Yeah. So.
Just because it was a matrix.
It was a bitmap.
A bitmap.
Sorry,
not a matrix.
But the feature back in the days was that you could kind of set your setting to either your network, rate your network as dangerous as...
We don't have to explain the deprecated feature.
Yeah, just as dangerous or at home or something. And depending on that setting, all these settings
would apply differently.
And a pretty cool feature because you can react really quickly to things. So you can be like, okay, you can kind of force block internet access for everything on the danger rating. And then you can be like, oh, something happened. Quick, open Portmaster danger. Everything's good. So that kind of was the idea behind it. But
did not work like that.
It did work.
Yeah, technically.
We had to explain this so often. They were like, this won't work.
Yeah, users are. Yeah,
this is not gonna work.
Yeah, users are confused. And if they're confused, they misconfigure. And it's more support. It's less understanding. And
it's less privacy.
It's less privacy as well.
Because people don't understand what is kind of how it works, and then use it incorrectly and actually allow something when they want to block something. So that's really bad. Yeah. So we saw, okay, it was a really good idea in itself, but the execution maybe was badly, or just the concept didn't match the mental model that people have of things. So we had to remove that, and it was deprecated for a while, and we're finally removing that beginning of December. So as of then, you'll actually see true and false for the toggle settings. Until then, it's numbers. Of course, old settings with the numbers you will be able to import. It'll correctly transform them, convert them into whatever it needs. So just to get that out there, don't be confused by numbers.
And eventually, I guess we will replace them all.
If you export them, it'll have it is correct. So yeah, just trust that the number is what you wanted, and soon the numbers will be gone. So
yeah, soon December.
December.
Yeah. So there has been a blog post as well.
Yeah. So we're also going to announce this in Portmaster.
Yeah.
this week, next week, soon. So that so everyone who has this feature enabled will get notification that it's soon gonna be dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So that'll kind of go out, and what we're planning to replace that is something what I've already kind of teased before. So ProMaster has this concept of layering settings. And the idea is, instead of having kind of settings that react to something, we have whole layers that react to something. So you can kind of layer your like gaming profile into there, or kind of your work profile, and just allow your work applications like Slack or Microsoft Teams, or kind of your work office stuff. You can only allow these things in the work profile, for example. So that's kind of the general idea. And we've actually, on Open Collective, we created a project where you can donate towards that goal. So if that's something that you really, really like, you can show us there. So this is planned, but we don't know yet when exactly. So it's not on the short-term roadmap. So yeah,
absolutely not.
Just that you know. So there's a replacement coming for all of you who did get it and love it. I loved it too, but we just saw it was too complicated
for too many people.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
Yeah, that's that kind of as an explainer for people confused by weird numbers instead of true false values.
Yeah.
For those toggle settings.
Hunter has a little compliment for you.
Oh.
Saying, wishing that all people are as smart as you.
Oh, nice.
With an XD, not sure if that makes it better or worse.
Well, it's always obvious and very clear if you designed it, then you all understand it.
Absolutely, yeah. Then you're like 7. That's yes, of course, of course. 7 is
everything is easier to understand if you built it or designed it. But yeah, if someone else did that, then it's hard. And as with many things, there is a word for that in German. It's called Betriebsblindheit. And it kind of conveys that, like, if you're within something and kind of work with something every day and are in constant contact with something, that you everything is clear to you, and you won't ever be able to see maybe what's wrong with it even, because you're just so used to it.
Yeah, you will be
someone
blind.
From the outside will see it immediately,
yeah.
But you're like, what do you mean? Everything's normal, everything's clear.
7 means yes.
Yeah, exactly. So
always has been, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
It's
okay. That was that.
Yeah, well, it's a lovely tangent, but it's I feel like the live stream is a good place to share this, because you folks are more invested and probably will use the GitHub repo first. So for you to understand what the 7 means is important, but for everybody else, in a couple of weeks, this will be gone. And so it will be true, false, and with the intended goal of making it as easy, human readable as possible. So we're not like confused about, is this more or less readable? It's just like, there has been a reason for it. It has been a feature. We wanted to keep it also for a reason. And now we're changing that, because having it as easy and as readable as possible is more important. No, great. Yeah. Okay. Mike J just said he has internet issues. Not too important for the live stream. I'm sorry. Yeah. So Hunter said, that definition of, like, there are sayings like that, I guess, in almost any.
Betriebsblindheit.
And stuff like that.
People not kind of reading the chat here. So, yeah, a fun word.
But Madlad has a super interesting question, I guess, and something that we can touch upon always. And I have a certain opinion on that as well. So
sure, then go ahead. I'll chime in when
MadLab is asking. So hi as well. How do we know that a connection is essential or simply background telemetry in Windows? Most connections are plain user tracking, but a feature to let us know would be great. First, I guess it's what I want to encourage people is to try blocking. It's not like we try to make it as easy as possible to allow stuff and as easy as possible to block stuff. If you see something, expand the connection, you get more information. Maybe this tells you already what it is, and otherwise just hit block domain in the bottom right, and then it just adds it for that one application. So if you want to add it to the global system, you can do so. But if you're only adding it to that one application, if it works, if this application keeps working, maybe close it and open it again, that application, like actually kill it and open it again so that it needs to reconnect everywhere. And if it keeps on working, then that's good. And if it does not, then just remove that rule again. Portmaster then will immediately allow it. Maybe again, close the application, open it up again. Sometimes, especially browsers, sometimes think they're in a state where they're actually not, and it could change over time. So yeah, but it's a great question, and I'd like to encourage everybody, just try it out more. Yeah. We built Portmaster to be easily explored, or at least that's what we think and hope. If not, tell us.
Yeah, it's funny. It's also like with some things, it can be weird. So I had a Windows machine in a state where I blocked a couple stuff, and I opened the Windows Store because I needed some weird thing from it. And first it told me, oh, I can't connect them offline. Oh no, everything's bad. I'm like, okay. And then it just finished loading. I'm like, that's weird. So sometimes even error messages could just kind of be a prompt to the user to let them know something's wrong. But the application, if it's not really dependent on that, will maybe just continue to work anyway. So just having a prompt could of course mean that something works later on. But it could also be that everything that you need from the application works. So even maybe parts that you don't need are broken, but you don't care for them either. So yeah. So just experiment around. It is really easy to block and unblock. So yeah, just try it out. And kind of maybe to kind of take another angle on this, if
Sure. Okay. I quickly want to add something from the dashboard, but yeah, you're right.
So that's something I think we talked already a couple times about, or like kind of the idea came up to kind of convey more information about domains and why things are needed in that regard. So and it would be cool kind of to have a database on domains and whom they belong to, exactly what their purpose is, and so on. But that's just so much work. And it would take quite some time to build. And I think that this can be something we can work on and kind of grow out of the community. And at some point in the beginning of our journey as a company, we actually had the idea to create a platform to share all that stuff, which would have featured kind of a blockchain-based reputation system and all of crazy stuff. But we ditched that because we needed just more focus to focus on the other things we already had going. So just had too many ideas we wanted to do with too little resources. So we kind of had to ditch that. But kind of what we're now starting with the Portmaster community GitHub organization, and there with our first repo called apps, where we collect profiles, recommended profiles that at some point, as we said, we will maybe automatically import into Portmaster and stuff like that. So that's kind of where kind of this idea manifests itself again, of the community coming together, working on a more or less intelligence data set for something. And if that works well with settings and profiles,
maybe we can expand.
We can expand that. And also, if you're creating a profile and you're doing research on an application, and there are a couple of domains that are the Portmaster blocks already because of filter list or other reasons, you can just also add them to rules as blocked and add a comment to that why it's blocked. So in this way, you can already do some of the work and share that with the community.
Yeah.
And then if we see that the community is coming along and is taking ownership and growing in that direction, we can of course expand what kind of data we want to collect there together.
Yeah.
But we want to kind of start small and kind of where the biggest gain is, which is, I think, sharing settings and profiles. So that's where we're starting. And whenever the time comes, we can expand that and improve on that and go forward with that.
Yeah. Somebody asked something like that on the beta desktop, why we don't integrate with VirusTotal, and InnovatorDev actually responded and asking, well, enhancing security while reducing privacy by a lot, in brackets, is what he said. It's a quote. Is not something Safing is aiming at, because of course sending the data to Google to get something back in return. And then I think So2 Odin said, S2 Odin, that VirusTotal is just a tool and it isn't always accurate. And that's true as well. Like sometimes
you need to really know how to interpret VirusTotal, because just going, oh, someone classified as a malware will get you in trouble really fast, because there are a lot of engines that just misclassify stuff. And Portmaster has been misclassified as malware.
Yeah. By one something.
So there is kind of, you need to know kind of what are the good engines on there, like which ones to ignore. You kind of need to know your way around the InfoSec landscape to correctly interpret that. If you know nothing about VirusTotal and how engines work, and you will just needlessly panic and make your life worse.
Yeah.
So
same as leak tests. I love that with the video that, oh gosh, forgot his name, but it's in I posted a video on the Discord by Ken Harris. He did a VPN versus SPN thing, and he showed a leak test, and you actually, when you looked over my shoulder, saw that it was the Molvet one where everything is red, and he's like, and everything is good. Everything is red, but everything is good. And so I love it. Leak tests, which are sometimes needlessly creating panic just because they assume something. But him showing that leak test and saying, even though everything is red, I don't think he even says that, but even though everything is red, he's like, this is all fine. This is a cloud. This is a VPN, not Cloudflare. This is Safing SPN IP address, and this is maybe, I think the DNS was a Cloudflare DNS server or something like that. But it's not and whatever. So he's like, everything is good, even though all three things are red, and it was just a lot of fun. No. So quickly, we had a couple of things to go into. Maybe SB101, I'll come back to your question a little bit later. Just so you know, read the questions. We are going to address it. Maybe I have a follow-up question in that regard as well. Hunter then said, telemetry exists even in Linux when installed closed source apps. It's also with open source apps. Telemetry is not always. I think Nick from the Linux experiment does not have a too bad take on that. It's sometimes, and we feel this as well, like if you don't tell us if something is broken, because Portmaster has no telemetry, we are like in the blind. And so we understand why sometimes people want to see debug information, see what features people are using and what features people aren't using, so that they can focus on the stuff that's actually important to their users. We are so reliant on the feedback, which they aren't. And I love, recently I was surprised we have almost 3,000 Twitter followers, and I'm like, well, how did that come to be? But people are engaging with us, and we're doing those live streams, and you don't see those with other developers. This takes time. Also a little bit, sometimes it's when we don't have a topic and you're not showing up, it's a little bit weird as well.
A bit shorter.
A bit shorter sometimes also. But like, I understand why some developers want that information, because they don't want to engage with other, like with their users too much, and they just want to see the data. Also, data is often more reflective of what the majority of the people actually do, because us here, 10-ish people, are not reflective of the many thousands of people who are using Portmaster each day.
Yeah.
So, and also they maybe want to know how many people are using their software. We only guesstimating.
We have guesstimates.
We can guesstimate based on.
Yeah. There are no ideas. There's nothing. We really like. We think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Innovative Dev Dan said a node why it's blocked would be cool, even just for Portmaster itself. That's true. And so this is something we have been thinking about for the longest time. How to do it, we'll see. The better alternative than VirusTotal, who are not training with executables, just sent. Yeah. So Innovative Dev reiterating in the comments, if you're reading them later on, why VirusTotal might not be the best tool. And let's get to the SB101 question. So SB101 was asking, is the money goal counter an active up-to-date number of the current amount before reaching the break-even point? And I guess you're talking about the one in the dashboard.
Yeah.
I'll assume you're talking about the one in the dashboard where it says, so there's 68%, I think, at the moment.
66. I think there's a blog post, and
66.
Everywhere we show numbers on that, it has a date when it was last updated. So
it's not live.
It's not live in a way that kind of we're collecting money to a goal.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you meant that. I thought about how to interpret what you asked, but it could be you meant it's kind of a counter to a goal. No, it's about a kind of our monthly costs that we can cover.
Yeah, break even, as he was asking.
So break even. So it's about kind of what, how far can we pay our costs with our monthly revenue from our customers. And this number is calculated over the last 3 full months. So meaning, if it says updated November, then it's October, August, and September. So yeah, the 3 month on average is how much we could cover from our revenue. So we're at our 66% right now, and that number is slowly growing. We'll see how this month goes, and you'll see that in December. How that changes. So they are updated monthly, because that's kind of the resolution we work with.
Yeah, we always get like over a period of full 3 months. So next time August will fall out, and we will include September, October, November. So that's how we will calculate. That's also why sometimes stuff goes up and down. Maybe then November has been good, but August has been great, And this is sort of like how it goes as well. Not to share too much, but we have our percentage of yearly subscribers is yearly plus subscribers. That's our biggest chunk. Yearly pro subscribers. That's our biggest chunk. We thought when we introduced Plus that a lot more people would buy Plus, and some people were accusing us of, oh no, you just want to make Pro more attractive, and we're like, no, we said in the blog post we want people to pay for Portmaster, so that we
Also,
like work on Portmaster.
Yeah. So also, our incentives are correct.
Yeah. And it absolutely helped us in our mindset that there are features for Portmaster which are paid, helps us not prioritizing only SPN and sort of like forgetting about Portmaster. And stuff like the import export, that's free, of course, but then the syncing is a paid feature, and we don't develop import export so that we can include the sync. We just otherwise we would have just focused and doubled down on SPN, and maybe then the SPN on Android would be done already. And I know some people have been asking us and have been angry with us that we haven't focused on that too much. But I feel like for most people, the most privacy is by us having the focus on the complete picture and not just Portmaster. And Portmaster Plus helped us in that regard, even though most people don't pay for it. So yeah, take with that what you want, but it helped us. And if you're starting a company, maybe that's interesting to you as well. Having prices and packages that incentivize you to do the right thing is also important.
Yeah.
Not that we have been bad, I think, but it helped. It helped for our mental health as well. That we're that we have been depressed, but from our mental, I'm not thinking that I do something bad for our paying customers if I work on Portmaster, because that's the other thing. You're the ones who are helping us. Why should I help somebody who's not paying and is along for free? You know.
Hunter asked what happens when we reach 100%.
It says in the blog post.
And Nevada already answered that one. We go to Nearest Pub. Well, we'll probably have a party, definitely. But we're probably gonna sleep better.
Yeah.
But what happens after that is the next goal will be to
hire
the next developer, and that will be for Android. So whenever that reaches 100%, the bar will reset, and we'll start growing up to hiring the next another developer in order to kind of improve our speed. And the first one very probably will be the Android developer. So
very probably.
We just don't if there's no one available.
We'll see.
We'll see. But the plan is
to have somebody full-time on staff who focuses on that exclusively.
Exactly.
Or not exclusively, but for mobile development. Also because from the mindset you always keep on saying, and I'm like, the MVP can be less than the whole Portmaster, but you're right. We want to include everything that's in there and in the feature set, and we are working or have been working on that quite extensively. But the issue is, from a UI perspective, a smartphone has ever-growing screen sizes. I hate that. I love small phones, but it's not as big as your laptop or as your PC. It is smaller, and it needs to be touch friendly. And so somebody whose mind is with that UI will be great. Hey, TCH, great to see you as well. He's late. Well, we're in the last 15 minutes. We're on our way out. We have skipped over MATLAB's question here. Yeah, you want to?
Yeah, just go quickly answer respond to Hunter's comment. He said he loves that Portmaster is 100% open source, and there are a lot of apps where the front end is, the back end isn't. That's the beautiful thing about Portmaster. There is no backend. Everything is local, and it was a lot of work to get that going, and it still is a strain on users, and we're trying to find a good way. For example, I don't know any other application that downloads their own UIP database, and that's really uncommon. Why is it uncommon? Because it's big. I think it's 100 to 200 megabytes of data just to have geolocation on your device with full privacy. And that's kind of our dedication to this. And it takes a cost in development time, in maintenance time, but also a cost for the user. So it costs us in adoption. So there are a lot of costs associated with that, but we wanted to take that route, and we really hope that we find a lot of people that want that. that actually are willing to take up the cost to have that.
Two things. Sure. What is the GIP's database for? Because you just mentioned it, and what is the benefit? Why do we even include it? Why is from the 300 megabytes people download, why is 2/3 of that this? So I can answer it as well, but
GIP is kind of a big database that tells us more or less where an IP address is on the world. It's really hard. It is inaccurate, of course, but it gives us the data who this IP address belongs to, so the company, and in which country it is located. And that's something that we use everywhere in Portmaster. The SPN uses that. We show you the countries and all the stuff. So it really is a really important part of the information for you to understand what is going on. And really helpful information. So we don't want to just omit that. That would be cool. But yeah,
it's a lot of data to download, and it's a lot of data to maintain on our end. And you're downloading it with a regular update. And so with others, you would ping a server to get that information.
Yeah, we've been reluctant to push a new update for a while now because it's so big. And we're investigating kind of doing a middle ground, kind of how can we reduce the size further, because it is a lot of data. I totally feel that. I want Portmaster to be a 30 megabyte application, not 300.
And that's what you were saying. And this was the second thing when you said Hertz adoption. What you're saying is some people are conscious about how big their applications are, how big their downloads are, and stuff like that. And this is how it hurts adoption. I just want to be clear, because people, you did not say specifically. So the two things is, the one is it's important for you to have that data and not tell it, like VirusTotal, the issue that Innovative Dev was raising was, if you're pinging another server to ask about additional information about a domain, then that server knows what
you're leaking everything.
Exactly. That's what I'm telling people about, like when they're like, Pi-hole is so great for privacy. I'm like, you have like a separate internet like history somewhere in your network. If you don't auto delete it, which is a feature on Pi-hole, and I encourage you, but if you leave it on there for a year just because it's cool, you have a separate browser history on the network. Not encrypted. Like there is a password, but it's like, whatever. It's not encrypted. It's not fair. But
you just yank out the SD card, right?
Exactly. So just so you know. But great. Okay. Let's add. Let MATLAB asked, is Portmaster more secure because of open source or less secure?
I would definitely go for more secure.
Me too. Of course.
Because there is just, for one, it's our incentive to kind of produce clean stuff.
So true.
And also well-documented stuff. More documentation also means less bugs, because the better a developer understands the code, the less errors he will make in changing code. So that's generally called maintainability. That's definitely higher. But also there are like loads of other people that can look through it and give us feedback and tell us if there's an issue with our code. So I would definitely go for more secure. Of course, the bad guys can also look at the code, but with closed source application, the bad guys have tools. I learned that in university. So we did a kind of malware analysis thing where like you look at the kind of binaries, and also like it's really easy to like black box text applications to just feed them loads of data, and as soon as it crashes, oops, something's up, and then you just start looking where the leak is in memory, find a way to exploit that, and boom, you got it. So it's not that difficult to exploit closed source. I'd rather have open source, so that
more people,
you benefit the good guys in helping you find issues.
And SB101 said, like, to be frank, open source only really helps when there is a community of outside devs who are looking at it and give second opinions. And we already had that as well. Like, even though like we used a Go library, and somebody from the developers of Go reached out as well, and looking into how we're using that library, because it has been misused so often, and giving a green light that we're using it correctly and stuff like that. And for all the closed source applications which are developed in Go, they might be still using that library the wrong way and actually like having security risks out of that. So SP101,
that was really cool. It was actually someone from the Go security team who was looking into like cryptography uses, and they were like, hey, wait a second, I saw you're using this, are you aware of this issue? And it was so cool that all of this being open source, the person that audited our code jumped on in the conversation and said, I audited that, everything's good. And like, yes.
The Cure 53 audit that I forgot his name again. I'm so sorry. The guy did such a great video on Portmaster, on SPN, but Ken Harris, that guy with the SPN video, he mentioned that as well. We have a Cure 53 audit.
Yeah, so our cryptography is audited. Is super clean, works well. So
and also easier, of course, because it's open source.
Definitely.
Also partly a reason why we're not just, because there's sometimes people are open source with their code on their sort of like Git implementation. GitHub is a cool place to have the code because the community is bigger there, and more people can look at it. And it's so interesting when I hear stories of people finding us through GitHub, and I'm like, sure, cool. Have you been looking for a lot of privacy tools in your spare time? I don't know. That's not what I'm doing browsing through GitHub. I don't know.
But I do look. I notice I do turn to GitHub for looking for stuff, because sometimes it's just easier than kind of web searching generically to go kind of just check if GitHub has something. Just not as kind of just the sole source of like things, but kind of, my web search isn't turning anything up. Maybe I'll just try GitHub directly instead.
I see.
Yeah, I do that.
Use the AI of OpenAI and
exactly.
Microsoft. Exactly.
Yeah. So just because we're praising GitHub here, we do know GitHub is owned by Microsoft. We do know that.
We do know that YouTube is owned by Google.
Also that, and we have mitigated the risk of kind of Microsoft turning on us. So everything is on GitHub is replicated elsewhere. We have backups, everything. So if GitHub kind of takes a dump on us, we're like, okay. We'll just continue somewhere else. Everything's good. So
and open source it, of course, again, and stuff like that. So it's the code is safe and everything is well. The source code won't get lost. Dash is back again. Dash, haven't seen you in quite some time as well. Thank you for the kind words. I'm reading.
Did you want to respond to something like up here?
No, all is well. I think we did not forget something.
Oh, we did. That's one. Okay, good. Sorry.
Innovative dev. Our Windows Fire. I see. Microsoft Fire. There's a lot of anti-Microsoft things on GitHub. 75% of PowerShell objects on GitHub are Windows deep loaders and tweakers. Not sure if it's 75%. I understand where you're coming from, but yeah. It's there is stuff on GitHub, and Microsoft, I think, has been okay stewards of GitHub over the time. Not sure what I feel about the death of Atom. I like VS Code.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to have.
I understand. Whatever.
Practically identical projects in the same company. It's like doesn't make too much sense.
So, and MATLAB then thought, I think Safin can gain.
SP101, can you open an issue for that on GitHub? Then I'll look into that.
Okay. I'm reading MATLABs. I haven't read it before. Good. Okay. I think Safin can get a lot of users if it allows free limited connectivity masking. Are there any considerations to introduce such a feature in free masking? No. Data costs a lot. And we consider Portmaster free. We have been asked, okay, let me backtrack a little bit. I get questions about free stuff all the time. And today is actually a cool day because we have sent out a lot of gift card codes for people, everybody who had a year of Portmaster Pro subscription running today. Doesn't matter if he bought it tomorrow, a year ago, still got the codes today. That's our Black Friday event. We're not doing a sales next week, and we're not doing anything else. But yes, traffic is expensive. That's one of our biggest costs in regards to running Portmaster. That's the biggest one, except of course salaries. People are more expensive than traffic, but it's Portmaster Free is already a lot of value that we deliver for free, and adding on top of that, maybe in the far, far, far future, when we have reached if we're as big as Proton, Proton is giving away something for free, then we can give something away for free as well. Besides Portmaster, which we already gave away for free. Nobody forced us to be open source. We could have done it differently. Now the code is out there, but back when we envisioned this, we just feel it's the right thing. And of course, giving additional privacy. We've been thinking about maybe masking DNS requests additionally to HTTPS and stuff like that.
Yeah. There's another really important reason, because it would hurt our customers. If you look at any free VPN or Tor and look at the reputation of their IPs, it's clear they attract a lot of malicious traffic. And we don't want that in the SPN. So allowing free access invites all of that stuff in there, and we want to give our customers who pay us really high quality. And
that's true.
I don't know if Proton VPN has separate free servers. They do. Okay, so the free users get the shit IPs with bad reputation, with all the captchas and all the blocked stuff, and then the paying users, they get the IP addresses with the good reputation. So that's how they a little bit better reputation. Yeah. So that's how they solve it. That's nothing we can do
but you're right.
here. And also means we will be separating free users from paid users. Also reduces privacy.
Make them attractive.
It's just so many problems, and we feel that if you want to try it and it's worth you, it's 10 years. Try it for a month, and if you like it,
I don't know how much
that's our trial. $10 a month.
I don't know how much a McDonald's menu costs at your place, but it costs more than that in Austria at this point. So you're paying less than a McDonald's meal for trying out SPN for a whole month. So Dash said, quickly running through the things, we are already over.
That's true. I didn't expect that one.
Me neither. But thank you all for showing up today. Dash said, thank you for the videos, the short ones. I want to do more. I am looking for, I already know a couple of topics, but if you tell me the topics you would like to be covered, that tells me which ones are more important than the others. So even though the idea has already been mentioned or something, comment below, let me know, so that I can see if it's pointed out 3 times, or just give it a like, the other one, the comment, that I understand, well, this needs a video next week, and this can wait till next year.
For people who don't know, Rafael just recorded a couple of new how-to videos here on YouTube. So if you haven't, there were old ones, but now they're new ones, and Rafael wants to make more. So just that whoever was confused about what we're talking about. For to SB101, if you have Discord, maybe ping us on Discord with your issues, so we can look into them. I don't think our live stream chat is a great
for support. No
location.
No,
for that.
And but also via mail list, of
also
course.
all the other questions we didn't correctly or didn't could answer at all. You can just hop on a Discord and ask them there. Either we or someone from the community will answer them. And
I quickly want to add a couple more things.
Okay.
We will go through that. Dash asked if we could accept Monero or payment like cash and mail. We accept both. We also accept Bitcoin for Hunter's question, just so you know. Just go.
We cover everything.
No, we don't. We used
all the good ones.
Yeah, Ethereum. We ditched Ethereum back when they went away from proof of work to proof of stake.
So,
even though I like stake,
But the reason is not that we hate Ethereum. The reason is nobody was using it.
Yeah, that's also true.
So we're like
everybody was using.
Yeah, we're not maintaining something nobody's using.
Yeah,
so okay.
It also has been more work on my end. With the funds, we don't use the service for in the middle. All our payment, like for better or worse, because some weird issues have and the people with the emails with the gift codes know this as well. There are some fringe cases where stuff does not work as expected with other payment providers, maybe. And the reason for that is that we build it ourselves so that as little data is shared to as little places as possible. Yeah. We never see, if you pay with credit card, we never see your credit card information. We don't want it. And we make it very clear that you're giving that information to Stripe and not us.
And if you pay with Bitcoin or Monero, it goes directly
into our wallets.
Into our wallets. There's kind of no intermediary, no one kind of holding your funds in between. It goes directly to us. We verify that on our hardware, so there's kind of no man in the middle here. And if you cash in the mail means euros, please no dollars.
And we sometimes are getting mail as well in that regard.
There's recent month, it was a bit more than usual, right?
Yeah. There was a week and so where we got so many letters at the same time, and I'm like,
that's weird.
Wait, that's weird. Something happened here, and I don't know what it was. Also, I was scared that because we're now not getting any mail either. I'm like, are they lost in the mail, or is it people just
But to your knowledge, nothing was lost in the
No, not yet.
So
no, to date.
Everything seems to be working great in that regard.
Exactly. So the mails actually arrive. Okay. MD?
I don't know.
Okay. BTV greetings from Techlore. Oh, cool. Dash. Not sure what greetings from Techlore means, but thank you, I guess.
I mean, we know Techlore, but
I don't know either. And we have been in contact. Maybe some people. Last thing before we head out. If you are on the Techlore forum, they announced that Rethink DNS has issues at the moment, and I know we say that we have only 66% of our revenue, of our monthly burn rate is covered, which is true, but we have reserves because it's going up and down. We are covered, and I actually reached out to Rethink over the Techlore forum. If they only need, only 1,500 euros per month to keep their service going, maybe we can pool resources. We have servers with spare capacity. The SPN transmits a lot more terabyte of data than what they do. Maybe it's not money that flows from us to them, but maybe it's server capacity and stuff like that. So working together, I think, is a cool thing. So if Dash, you know them, or something like that. They mentioned our service. Yeah, I know. and we know Techlore-ish as well, I guess. But yeah, no, they're cool and like them as well. And cool folks. Okay, Hunter says he keeps it in mind with regards to the cryptocurrencies. Second, very cool. Yeah, use Monero. I like using Monero. Good practice is not have everything in a hot wallet. Monero is a little bit harder on that, but
get a hardware wallet.
Yeah, as if possible. But Monero is easier to transfer. It's easier to take along. Monero is my recommended cryptocurrency of choice, even though at the moment Bitcoin is going higher and Monero is not. So if you're gambling and trying to make money, then maybe Monero is not the way to go. But for us, we don't crypto is cool because it's a private way to pay. And so gambling is not part of what we like about crypto. And if you feel the same way, go with Monero. It's a good payment.
We don't hodl our cryptocurrency. We do wait for a good spot to sell it, but it's revenue for us. We need that. So for us, it's
we cannot pay rent
mostly,
with Monero.
Yeah, transactional. So
exactly.
We try to kind of get it out soon again.
We cannot pay rent with Monero. We cannot pay electricity with Monero. We cannot pay salaries with Monero.
Yeah. So
good. Let's wrap it up. Red Bull is the coolest Austrian company. First off, very cool, Dash, that you know that Red Bull is from Austria.
That is true. That is true. That actually deserves a mention.
That Red Bull is the coolest Austrian company. Yeah, we don't do air shows yet, but
that's
you
true.
see, in a couple of years, maybe we do the Safing air show. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
Or soapbox racing. Who knows? No.
Packet racing.
Yeah. Who knows? Okay. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for this great time. As Dash was saying, like, it's bi-weekly. So we will, like, it's every other week. Bi-weekly has this double meaning. We do it every other week. So in 2 weeks, we will be here again from 3 to 4 p.m. Sometimes we go over.
3 to 4 p.m. Central European time.
Central European time, you're right. Sometimes we do go over, but we appreciate you being here. Thank you also for raising that question, talking about our funding and our money. It is uncomfortable, of course. We're still very Central European. Talking about money is not our most favorite thing.
So uncommon here.
Yeah, but it is. We very much appreciate everybody who is helping us.
Definitely.
And as I said in the email to our current subscribers who got the code, it is your contribution that helps us develop all those features. Otherwise, we would have to look for jobs elsewhere, and can't continue there. That would be sad.
Yeah.
Maybe to address this, I know I opened something here.
You opened it.
But to quickly address this, if we don't make the 100%, because this question wasn't asked, we probably would have to wind down on stuff. That's not to scare anyone. Portmaster is not going anywhere. It is
client only, you know. It's
and
going to live forever.
And it is important to us. But if you have been on the fence, it's cool to subscribe. Now if you do it today or tomorrow, you will be getting the codes to gift it to somebody else. And the idea here, of course, is to show it to other people as well. That's the reason why it's 2 codes, so that you can gift somebody else the code as well, and that they see the cool thing and use it for themselves, and then hopefully subscribe as well. This is what would help us, of course, in the long run.
Yeah. So because you just said wind down, maybe just to clarify a bit more what that means. That it means that the team is gonna get smaller. Yeah. We're gonna be slower on features.
Yeah.
Support is gonna be slower.
Yeah.
All that stuff. What does it not mean? That does not mean that Safing will stop or die or something. So Safing is here to stay.
We're way too far for this.
Yeah, we're way too far in this for
way too many customers for this. Way too much money for this.
So it will just get slower and slower.
Yeah.
To the point where it may not be as fun for people working here. It may not be as fun for our customers. But if we're forced to that, we'll do that to keep it alive because we think it's worthwhile.
Absolutely.
And we want to continue providing the service. But of course, we hope that we can actually
increase the team.
Start hiring again soon.
Yeah. Add an Android developer.
Exactly.
We hear everybody who wants that.
Get it going.
Exactly.
Just to clarify on that.
You're right. Yeah, we have way too many customers, and I think people who are already subscribers see that there are more and more nodes coming in, and everything is growing. If you've been a subscriber for the whole year already, you saw that we started off with not even 20 nodes, and we are I don't know how many we have, but I think it more than doubled over time. And we do have access capacity, as I said, like with the Rethink thing, but it is like growing fast, and it's very cool, and we love that, and we love the customers who help us get to here. But still, yeah, I feel it's important, and it's important for you to know as well, like the consequences if it's going on. SB101 asked if it's showing up for monthly subscribers as well. No, I wanted to check for people who have been subscribed monthly for a year, but this is so hard. It's like as I said, we built this ourselves, and we try to also, like, I would have to go in and extract that data from the database, which could be possible, but it's not easy, and it's not foolproof. And so we just said, okay, everybody with a yearly subscription gets the code. So if you have been on a monthly subscription, upgrade to a yearly. And
how many hours left? That's the question.
24-ish.
Okay.
A little bit more than 24.
Okay.
But yeah, you can upgrade today, and you will actually get like the time that's left added, so nothing is lost in that regard. But SB101, if you want the codes, we gladly send you them if you upgrade to the yearly.
InvaliDev asked if there are any leaks if you just adopt the promo codes online. No, they're not kind of bound to anyone. They're just we just have them in our system as used or not, but they're not tracked in any way. So.
No, they're not tracked. They're not like associated to you.
Yeah. And they won't be able to find anything out with the code.
Yeah. It's everybody sees the same thing. It's a gift. They see that it's a gift for Black Friday, but they don't see anything else. So they would know how you acquired that code, but they don't know.
That's true.
Where, like, what's your account, and they cannot go back or anything. And even when that person activates it, we don't see who sent them that code or something. So it's very disconnected. When we built the gift card thing, we made that intentional. Sometimes people have been asking for like referral links, and we're like, no referral links, because then we would have to track that user to the purchase to give you money back. And I understand
and then that user to your user, and then that payment. So with that, we will be creating webs.
Yeah,
not just links.
Maybe a coupon code, but as I said, self-built. Maybe something with a coupon code in the far future. But we want to put our resources into Portmaster, not into our payment system at the moment. This is all in there. Yeah. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for helping us, and please share Portmaster. Portmaster Free is also great for the shopping season. It already blocks a lot of things, so if you don't have the money to upgrade, that's fine, and use Portmaster Free and help others. You want to add something?
Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting us. And we're looking forward to in 2 weeks, next live stream.
Have a good one.
See you then.